All right, we're back. Welcome back to the Kingdom Press Podcast. I am here with a gentleman who's part of the Business Expo with the Rotary Fellowship Business. And, we do this every 6 months. And I want this gentleman to introduce himself because he is in the business financial world. If you're looking for help financially, financial literacy, some education, some direction, create a pathway for you to have more success in yourself, in your endeavor, support your family thoroughly, this is the man. What's up, brother?
Wes, thank you so much for
All right.
having me.
Absolutely.
Kingdom Podcast Crew, what's up? My name is Mark Jones. Like Wes said, I'm here with the Business Expo. It's been a phenomenal event. We got a bunch of people here, and I am in the world of helping families to build their empire, right? Whether that's hey, we're trying to figure out how money works and keep the basic cash flow going and keeping eggs in the budget.
Yes.
I'm there for that. Whether you're a business owner, whether you're a prospective business owner, trying to say, how do I do this? How do I kind of break free from the W-2 world? I'm there for you. And I help from the guidelines all the way up through how do I grow my wealth in the most effective way.
Question. What sets you apart from these other financial gurus, expert, people that's out there trying to help people?
Yeah, hey, that's a great question. And it's kind of it's the trying to help people, right? There's a distinction. Right? Anytime you're looking at money, you have to say, all right, where is it gonna go?
Yes.
Everybody has to remember that there are three people that live in their money at all times.
Talk to me.
Right? You got you, right, in your savings account, you and your family. The other person is going to be Uncle Sam because he's got his hands in everything.
Uncle Sam.
He wants a slice of it.
Yeah.
But the third person is whoever you've chosen as your financial advisor. So one of the first things that you need to be hyper aware of, you have to put your radar ears on. Your financial guys should be looking to lessen the amount that they get to the amount that the government gets at all times, right? Because, and I'm a firm believer in this, if I am promoting abundance for everybody else, there's going to be more than abundance left over for me at the end of it.
Can you share an experience that maybe a success story of someone you was dealing with, you was working with, they went from the bottom to the top, now they're here, something along that way?
Yeah, man, I got so many stories that I could
one that stands
share
out
with you. Can I share you my story?
Oh, let's start with you. That's probably the best story.
And this is a bittersweet story, right? It's the story of how I got into the financial space, and it's the story of why I do what I do.
Yeah.
So I, little baby professional Mark Jones got his financial license about 7 years ago. I started working with people in the insurance space. I was doing it part-time, friends and family.
Yeah.
And then what I ended up doing 2.5 years ago, I jumped into this field full-time because my dad was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
He was 54 years old. I have a whole mess of brothers and sisters still at home. My mom hadn't worked for her whole career. She was a homemaker.
Right.
And it was a complete devastation for them.
Gotcha.
Right. So that inspired me to dive in and not only figure out how I can help people, but how I can turn times of complete and utter chaos into times of abundance. Right. Because it takes the right guidance.
So how did you manage to come out this dire situation or traumatic situation, and what kind of information and resources can you provide to others who are in that same space?
It's a really good question. So essentially two different things. The first was we needed to find a way to we needed to introduce a new type of budgeting into my family's world. The model that I use is called a wealth builder account model, right? So the world essentially works in a way where your paycheck goes into a checking account, and then Uncle Sam gets his hands on it, and then Lifestyle gets its hands on it, and at the very end of the line, you kind of sit there, right? And most budgets are something where they are going to tell you, your budget tells you where your money went, but you don't have a say, right? You're just kind of left with empty pockets at the end of the month.
Right.
So the first thing we did was we put a wealth builder account model into
Okay.
your money, every single drop of income, right?
Yeah.
From dad's retirement plans that he had built when he was still able to work,
Mhm.
the money that mom was now bringing in because she went back into the workforce.
Mhm.
Everything went into wealth builder. And then we sat down and we had a good conversation about priorities, right? Because money is just a surface level indicator of the blood, the sweat, the tears, the priorities, what's important to you. And
Discipline, though. You got to be disciplined.
It takes discipline because guess what? there are every company, right, from Amazon Prime, not to call out my boy Jeff Bezos, right?
Call them out.
Jeff Bezos wants your money. The credit card company, I worked with a client yesterday, 30% on their credit card interest. That is, and what
It's getting higher.
we should be legislating this to say there should be a negative number in front of that, because most people, it needs to slap you in the face.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a slice of what you're bringing in, a slice of your hard work.
Yeah.
And it is our job as good stewards of our kingdoms.
Mhm.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, Kingdom
to
Press.
say, absolutely, to say, where is my money going to go?
Right.
Where am because you are building a kingdom with your hard work. What do you want that to look like?
Right.
You want it to be Jeff Bezos' kingdom? You want it to be your kingdom?
Exactly.
So first thing we did was we revolutionized. We took the traditional budget model, we spun it on its head, and we reprioritized where our spending went. That let us know exactly how much money we need to have on a regular basis. We took portions of the retirement savings that he had built, and we turned it into a pension. Not only a pension, but a pension with a death benefit attached onto it, so that upon his death, we get a refund of the money that we had put into it.
Oh, nice.
Absolutely. And there are really, really great creative products out there. The biggest thing that you have to be aware of, going back to your earlier question, when you're working with somebody, ask them how they're getting commission on a product.
Right.
Right. Because everybody should know that we're in business to do business.
Right.
Right. That's a part
And
of life.
ultimately to make money. That's
Absolutely.
what it is. Yeah.
But are you looking to make money because my company has this product on promotion this quarter, so I get an extra 10% if I sell it to you, or because this is the best thing for you and your family?
Exactly.
And
No.
there's a big difference there.
Yeah. All right. I'm here with Mr. Mark. Mark, is the last name
Jones.
Mark Jones?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
easy
really
one.
complicated name. I can spell it for you if you want.
2 syllables, Mark
I know.
Jones.
My mom and dad, they blessed me with both a name that it will be difficult for anyone to misspell, and
Right.
also a lifetime of identity theft.
Welcome to Financial Literacy 101.
Absolutely.
Stay away from trouble out there, because there's a lot of criminals looking for that name.
That's true. That is true.
So back to what we were talking about, finance and financial literacy.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about credit. And how do you go about helping one individual climb out of a situation where they got nothing but derogatory accounts, late payments, but they got a family they're looking to support, and they want to get out of that hole. Perhaps they want to get their first house, maybe get some loans, or to do something of a business to maybe get ahead in life a little bit. Like, what is the process? What is the way on the pathway towards freedom?
That's a really, really good question. I've worked with a couple of people like this, and the first thing, right, is you got to have that why, right? You mentioned they've got a family to provide for. You mentioned they want to build a house, they want to start a business, right? You have to embrace that why, because you can't change. Nothing changes without changing something.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it all comes down to. So when we were talking earlier, I mentioned the wealth builder account. Right? The whole purpose of that is reprioritizing, making a conscious decision of where your money goes. So the first thing is you got to look at your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You got to look at what caused you to get to this position in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, in some cases, because I'm not trying to say it's your fault,
Yeah.
right? Because life happens, and life sometimes it'll smack you upside the head and turn you upside down and shake you a few times on the way out. But what you have to do at a fundamental level is you have to take ownership of the situation you're in, and then decide, I'm going to first and foremost tell my money that I'm going to use it to hack away a debt.
Yeah.
Now, there are strategies like you can look at debt consolidation, which is phenomenal, because if if you have a credit card, multiple credit cards that are all at 30% interest rate, well, the power of your payment every single month is automatically being reduced by a huge amount.
Right.
Right. So if you can consolidate, jump into a 0 or a low interest rate environment for even 12 months, it is amazing how well you can build that snowball.
So now, when it comes to credit consolidation, organizations, do they stop payments on the account and they pay one account, or like how does that work? Because if you're not paying attention to what's going on with the credit reporting, and you're making business deals with these creditors, who's buying in, what creditor is buying into that, and how do you save yourself from being any more late on payments or having more derogatory account on your credit report if you're consolidating? Because I see a lot of people where they will consolidate their debt to pay one big debt and to pay all of them simultaneously somehow. But for some reason, it's not reflecting on the credit report, and his credit is just being late.
Yeah, that's a major issue, right? And there's two things that I'll say on this. And the first is that I'm not a credit repair shop. This goes back to how do you pick the right guy or gal who's going to help you out, right? I'm not an expert in the credit repair business, but from a debt consolidation standpoint, that is a spot that I play in. So I'll say two things. The first is if you're going to evaluate a company, you have to make sure that they're not only going to take your money and consolidate your debt, but they're also going to be doing all the back office reporting for you to make sure that they fix the problem.
Right.
So again, the due diligence you need to do up front is here's what I need you to make sure you help me with,
Right.
so that it's reflected on your credit score. That's huge. The second thing is if you're just doing like a balance transfer strategy where there are cards that exist out there that say, hey, we'll give you 12, 13, 18 months, no interest. If you move your whole balance over to me, that strategy, that happens, that'll happen automatically. Because as soon as your credit cards that you used to have a balance on show zero, that gets reflected in your credit report.
Right, because now you have no balance, and then if you are under the 30% mark, if you're around 12 to 15%,
Yeah.
and if you happen to have some good accounts on there, you can actually climb up to the 800 mark in no time, especially if you got good history and a lengthy history.
And the other thing that you do too is like when you start that strategy, right? When you're looking to build good credit, the other question you have to ask yourself is why not borrow from myself in the future?
Okay, how do you do that?
It's the beauty of the financial world, right? Great concept. If you're sitting at home and you want something fun to Google one night, Google infinite banking system.
Okay, so yeah.
Self-banking, right? There are various financial products out there that do several different things, but one of them is when you take the product out, and I'm thinking like high cash value life insurance policies are a big vehicle for this.
Yes.
Right. The policy that I wrote yesterday, you're locked in at the maximum interest rate is 5%. After 20 years, that drops down to 3.5%.
Okay.
Well, I work with a phenomenally intelligent 22-year-old to put together a policy, and by the time this kid was 44 years old, so give or take another 22 years,
Yeah.
he was going to have $283,000 that he could take a loan from.
Nice.
At that point, it would be 3.5% interest rate, and then he could just pay himself back.
Right.
So he had just finished that stage of, all right, I've gotten my debt under control. I've knocked off my last credit card. Now, how do I aggressively become my own banking institution?
That was actually my next question is how do you leverage technology or digital tools to enhance your business operation or reach whatever goal that you may have in mind? So you brought up the infinite banking. I guess you can utilize life insurance or cash value life insurance to leverage the funds.
Yeah.
So you can actually buy a vehicle, you can probably buy a home depending on how much money you saved in that pot, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you pay yourself back opposed to paying the bank back for the
Doesn't
money.
show up as income either for a tax return purpose.
Right. So now, if you go a month or two missing payments, it doesn't get reported late to your credit report, correct?
Yeah. No, because you don't even have a responsibility to make a monthly payment.
Right. Right. Exactly. Or you be paying yourself back with the interest, and you be paying yourself back, but at the same time putting that money back. But it's also a savings account that you're gonna fill up again.
Yeah.
And then at some point, this thing's gonna have abundance, and then you can do it all over again. So you can buy your house, I guess you can buy your car, you can go get, some presents or go on vacation perhaps.
Yeah, so little known fact, Walt Disney started his company with cash value from a life insurance policy.
Look at that. A lot of wealthy
He did pretty
individuals did very well. Yeah. A lot of these wealthy cats went through that.
Yeah.
In fact, that's how these banks are solidifying their money. They're utilizing insurance.
Absolutely.
Even the military, even the government, I hate to say this, but when somebody passes away during military time, these are governments. They're getting about $10 million, I believe, on each body. That's why they don't mind going to war. That's
Really?
another topic.
Yeah, that one I can't hear. Just because I don't know. For full disclosure. It's like, Wes, what are you doing?
That sounded scary. But with that being said, listen, man, I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Spending with us. We had some fun, throw a little monkey wrench in our conversation. With that one.
We did. But hey, that's what keeps it fun, right?
Yeah.
Hold the punches.
Gotta laugh. It hurts, but you gotta laugh.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely. Wes.
Any last word?
No, hey, make sure that The person who is paid first is you. And always remember, everybody wants your money, but the most important people are the people in your kingdom. So build it appropriately.
All right, and that's the Kingdom Press podcast, and I'll see you next time. However, we got a next guest that we're going to bring about and talk some more and get some rich incitement.